Hey there, internet friends. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the Blue Sky Sanctuary. That's my property in the Baja in Mexico. It's also my YouTube channel where I'm sharing everything that I can that I've learned through my own personal experience living here, purchasing property, and also building on my property, all for a pretty tiny budget. Today, I'm revisiting a topic because I am moving through the experience for the second time, and that is purchasing here in Mexico. If that's something you're thinking about doing, stay tuned, and hopefully I'll be able to arm you with some information that will empower you to move forward and feel comfortable with the process. So, first off, the good news is that foreigners can absolutely purchase here in Mexico. There's really only one limitation, which is if you want to purchase within 50 kilometers of the ocean or 100 kilometers from the border, you'll need what's called a fideicomiso. That's a contract that you have with the bank. It's a trust. And it's a 50-year contract that basically allows foreigners to purchase in these restricted areas. That contract's not a lease. You absolutely own your property and have full control of it. The government of Mexico has authorized these banks to have the ability to facilitate this for you so that we can purchase anywhere that we want ultimately. It's very standard. It's nothing to be nervous about. When the time comes for you to purchase, either your real estate agent or your lawyer will facilitate this for you and help make it happen. Moving forward, the rest of the things that I want to share in this video are really based in my personal opinion and come from my own experience. So the facts about the fideicomiso, those are simple facts. You can get them from Google or from any source of information, really. But this is from my own experience. I would say that it has been far more valuable for me to have a lawyer in my purchase process than it has been to have a real estate agent. In fact, in both my purchases, I haven't had a real estate agent. I've only had my lawyer. And in selling my property, I did use a real estate agent, but if I were to do it again, I definitely wouldn't bother with the real estate agent. Simply put, real estate agents are salespeople and they make their commission when they sell you a property. So it's in their interest to sell you property. Your lawyer is going to provide services for you that you will pay for whether you purchase the property or not. So your lawyer is really clearly motivated to look out for you and to make sure you're making a sound investment and that you're going about things the right way. So I have been protected by my lawyer in both purchases, one 4 years ago and the one I'm currently going through. And without him, I feel like I definitely would have and could have made some pretty big mistakes. For example, 4 years ago, I made an offer on a property that was subdivided, and I was told and I understood that I was going to be buying the front half of the property, which would be the piece closest to the ocean, and there would be someone right behind me, inevitably and eventually, but they'd be behind me, not a big deal. When my lawyer did more research and more digging, he determined that no, in fact, I was buying the back piece of the subdivided lot, which means that in time I would be looking at the back of someone's house instead of the ocean. The seller didn't think this was a big deal. They're like, it's 50 meters this way or that way. What's the big deal? And there is a really easygoing attitude here in Mexico, which I love. But when it comes to investing in real estate, I think we really want to make sure that we're making a sound investment and that we're actually purchasing what we think we're purchasing. And so that's when a lawyer really comes in handy. I could make a half-hour video telling you about all the things that he looked out for that I wouldn't even have known to look out for. But in short, confirmation of points, making sure that the property is physically what you think it is and what it says on paper. The title, making sure that it's clean and clear. You know, when the seller provides you the title, that's a really good feeling to hold the title in your hands, but that might not be a clean and clear title. You yourself can take it to a title search agency. But what I found is that my lawyer, with his contacts and with his bilingualism, he is really able to navigate things much easier than I would be able to navigate them. And so his services have been just absolutely valuable and worth what I paid for them. So if you're making an investment of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, to spend another couple of thousand on a lawyer, I think is really a great idea. Lastly, you would want your lawyer to be entirely bilingual, not just kind of bilingual. We get by a lot here on kind of Spanglish. I'm not completely fluent yet, but you know what? We built this house with a team that only spoke Spanish, and we got a house built. You can derive a lot from context and hand gestures and whatever is going on, right? But when it comes to legal matters, you want to be absolutely sure that you understand exactly what's going on or exactly what a contract says. Your sales contract will be in Spanish originally because we're in Mexico, and there will be an English translation. But without someone who's very bilingual to look them over, you won't know that the English one is in fact reflecting the original precisely. So you also would have your lawyer look over the contract for red flags and to see if you're signing off on something that's not standard here. If you want more information on this, tell me in the comments and I'll make a more in-depth video about that. Moving forward, I would advise that you be prepared for the process to take more time than you might like. I'm in month 5 of the sales and purchase process that I'm going through right now, and I can kind of see the finish line on the horizon, but there's no closing date. If you aren't able to stay here for the full duration of what it's going to take for your purchase process to close, you can get a power of attorney. That's your solution. You would assign somebody that you trust to act on your behalf, move things around, or just show up to things that you would be showing up to if you were here. And again, your lawyer can facilitate that power of attorney paperwork for you and get it set up for you. The last 2 points, simple little points, again, based on my personal opinion. No place is perfect. So I want to encourage you to not get caught in analysis paralysis, which I did for about a decade, traveling around the globe looking for the perfect spot. Perfect places are busy because they're perfect and everyone wants to be there. So there is that trade-off, and the bottom line is there is always going to be a compromise that needs to be made. For example, the beach that I live near, you can't swim on it. That's the compromise. But the pro is it's never going to be developed. And so there's always a trade-off, right? So if you would make a list of your top priorities and you can find a place that meets those expectations for you, I would encourage you to go ahead and take the leap, because probably what you'll find is that once you own property in that place that you like, you will begin to love it because you have property there and it begins to feel like home, and it's a great feeling. And lastly, budget. I like to revisit this because it's been on my front burner and at the forefront of my mind and my life. If you want to get into the real estate game here, but you don't have a large budget, I'd invite you to consider purchasing property without a house on it and then build in the future. I definitely couldn't have purchased what I ended up creating here with this house and this property. But I created it myself and saved tens of thousands of dollars and put myself in a good position to move forward and do this again and do it smarter and better the next time. So there's still plenty of property here available for sale. There's not as many houses in the low price bracket available, at least not in the Baja at this time. And I know the real estate market always changes, but that's something to consider. It will give you something to work towards and come back to year after year and chip away at. If you haven't seen my channel and you want to check it out for some inspiration, you can see how I purchased this property and over the last 4 years connected power, water, put up the fence, put in the septic system, and ultimately built this house. And 4 years is not a long time. So I did that for a budget that was tiny, under $100,000 all in. I hope this video inspires you and allows you to feel like you could move forward with a purchase if that's what you want to do. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I will absolutely do my best to answer them. I thank you again for tuning in and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye for now.